Hi everyone, I am Lalsa and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll be seeing a couple of use cases demonstrating the functionality of LINQ queries, guys. So without further delay, let me share my screen. So assume that we're taking a use case wherein I have 1 to 10 numbers, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And out of these I would want to find any number modulus equals to 0. I would want to find what all these numbers are. So basically, just to give you what modulus operation does, say suppose I have 13 by 6. A modulus operation is denoted by a percentile symbol, and it will always give you the reminder, guys. So 2 6 are 12 and remainder will be 1. So 13 modulus 2, the output is going to be 1, and 13 by 2, the output is going to be 6, if you're talking about the divisor dividend concept. So let us see how to build something like this in a UiPath workflow. I have just dragged and dropped in a flowchart, and within which I took a sequence. Now I'm coming to the variables panel and I'm creating a variable. I will say it numbers array, and I'll have to convert the variable type to array of integers. So yes, and I'm passing on the numbers here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay. So now guys, we will have to ensure that while implementing LINQ in our imports, we should be having something called system.linq. How do you import it? Just come here and type system.linq. Just hit on it and you will be able to find it in your imports. Okay. I will just close this out because I already have system.linq. So I'll be coming again to my variables tab. So I'll be creating another variable called output array, in which I'll be saving the output of my modulus operation performed using LINQ. So that is also going to be an array, and I'm saying int 32. So now let us come here. Let us take an assign activity, and to this output array, I will be writing my LINQ here, guys. So basically, let me come to a notepad and tell you how this LINQ functions. You will have to write it in two parentheses, guys. Opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, from which the first statement is going to be a from. So you got to tell the robot or the compiler from where it has to actually apply this LINQ query. So say suppose in this case I'll be saying num in what is the variable we have created. We have created an initial variable called numbers array, right? So I will be saying from num in numbers array, and a number is just something what we want to filter out. It is more like a variable, okay? And we have to tell from where it has to filter it. We are filtering it from the array we have created, which is numbers array, okay? And now we will have to give our condition, guys. So what is our condition? Every time in a LINQ query, the condition is denoted in the where block, okay? So where I'm saying num mod 2, my condition is num mod 2 equals to 0. That is the use case we are trying out, right? So wherever number modulus 2 is equals to 0, I want to select that number, okay? After selecting that number, it is up to us on how we want the output to be, okay? If in this case we are trying to keep the output as an array, so we will be saying 2 array, okay? So what are we doing here? We have actually defined something called numbers array of type integer, and we have passed in our values, okay? We have also created the output array to save the output of our workflow. And what is our workflow aimed at? We want to see out of all these 10 numbers, number modulus 2 equals to 0. Whatever number is matching this condition, I want to filter out those numbers. So we are writing a LINQ query here. Basically, for this use case, our LINQ query consists of three sections: from, where, and select. We want to first describe, we'll have to first describe from where it has to take in the input. So I am saying from num in numbers array, and here we will have to basically give our condition. What is our condition here? Wherever num mod 2 equals to 0, we are filtering that out, and wherever this condition is met, we are selecting that particular number, and the output of it has to be an array format. Hence I'm saying dot to array. Let us see how to build the same in UiPath. So I'm opening my braces and closing my brackets, and here I'll be saying from num in numbers array. So guys, basically here num is just an object reference, that's all. Okay, and what is my condition here? I'm saying where num mod 2 equals to 0, I would want to filter out all of this, and out of that output I am selecting whatever numbers are getting filtered out. I'm selecting those numbers, and I want the output to be in an array format. Hence I'm saying dot to array. My error is gone and my LINQ query is also ready at the moment. So let us try to see how the output is. So basically it's been saved in an array, right? So we can use a for loop. For each, I'll be taking the for each row and dragging and dropping that here, and I'm saying I'm passing this as output array because all of my output is saved in this output array, and I'm just trying to take a write line activity. Do not forget that in community edition, it is getting automatically upgraded to the argument type as integer, guys. But in case it is not updated automatically, ensure that you're changing it to integer type here. Okay. So I'm trying to print my current number. So since this is an integer format and the write line accepts only string, you will have to convert it to a string format to print it here. All right. So what did we do here? Basically, I'll explain it once again. We took a numbers array of type integer and we passed on the default value to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have also created an output array to save the output of the LINQ query. Now, in this workflow, we dragged and dropped in an assign activity. We called the output array and we passed our LINQ query here. What is our LINQ query stating? From number in numbers array. So number is just a variable, and you will have to give the from condition here, from where it has to take in the input. So I'm saying numbers array is my input. Next is the where section. I'm telling where number modulus 2 equals to 0, select that particular number. And then whatever numbers are selected, give me the output in the form of an array, and that is the reason I'm mentioning dot to array. Okay, so now all the filtered out numbers which are matching that particular criteria will be saved in this variable called output array. Now I want to see what is the output array containing of. Hence I'm taking in a for each loop and I'm looping in through the output array and I'm trying to print it. So let me save it and let us try to run the workflow to see the output. So basically, if you come here and see, the output is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is perfect because 2 mod 2, the remainder will be 0. 4 mod 2, output remainder will be 0. 6 mod 2 is 0. 8 mod 2 is 0. And 10 mod 2 is 0. It's perfectly executed. Now, let us just try to implement some more functionalities here. What if I want to get the total count of numbers? Okay, in that case I will not need this for each loop, so let me disable it at the moment. You can do it in two ways, guys. One way is come here, take an assign activity, create a variable called count which is of type integer. You can call your count variable here and you can print the count of the output array dot count. So whatever is the output variable, out whatever is the, basically the previous output was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? So instead of printing all those, I want to just get the count of the output, that's all. So what am I doing? I'm taking a variable called count, I'm assigning it to be of the integer type, and then what am I doing? I'm calling this output array and I'm just saying dot count. So let us try to write it and see what will be the count. Count dot toString, because write line accepts only string formats, and count is an integer variable, we'll have to convert it to a string before printing it. So let us run this and see. Perfect. It is giving me an output as 5, which is perfect. Now there is one more way to do it, guys. So instead of using this write line activity, let me disable this, we do not need it anymore. Let me disable this, we do not need it anymore. So instead of taking a fresh variable called count and all of that, you can directly come to your LINQ query, and here I told you the essence of dot to array, right? Basically, however we want the output to be, we will mention it here. So since I have mentioned it as to array, it was previously giving me the output in an array format. Now say suppose I just want count, I will just say count and hit on save. There is an error being thrown. Why? Because output array will accept something in an array format only. So what will we do? We will call our count variable here. So what are we doing here, guys? We are calling the count variable, and we have just modified our LINQ query. So the conditions and all remain the same from num in numbers array, and you are mentioning your where condition here, where num or 2 equals to 0, and you're selecting that particular number which is matching this condition. And instead of giving the output as to array, you're trying to give it as dot count. Now let us take a write line activity and let us try to quickly print the count and see. Count dot to string, and let us save it and let us execute this workflow. The compiling of the activities has started, the execution has started, and it has ended as well. So if you see, 5 is the output which is printed, which is same as the previous one, guys. So this is how you can actually implement your LINQ query. Okay, so you just have to write your conditions here from where you would want to select it, and a select operation. Whatever is the output you want, you will have to mention it outside your bracket with a dot. And that brings me to the end of the first use case. Stay tuned to my channel for further use cases on LINQ queries. Thank you for watching this video.